Hello everyone, welcome back. Episode 3 of Impact. Today is a lot different from previous episode, which was kind of the whole theme around what you got to do to make your work effective. This is about the grind. The grind is what you do every single day to actually do the work. And today I've got meetings set up from pretty early in the morning to all the way at night, and we're going to go all throughout the day. It's going to be a lot of one-on-ones, it's going to be a lot of planning. And the kind of theme that I'm trying to structure for today, we'll see how it works out, is going to be this idea of growing forward and growing together as a company. In business, you always want to be shedding off the old and getting the new. And that new, bringing that new in and trying new things and trying new ideas and taking new risks is the theme that I'm going to have for the leadership that we're doing today. So let's get into it. We couldn't be considered a physical, like if you asked where marketing lives, you would not be able to point to any place physically. You wouldn't be able, it lives on this avenue, it lives in this retail store. It doesn't. It just like, it's like an amalgamation of Discord and like website, right? So like what that means is that everything that we create is like an idea in people's heads, right? And it starts with you and Julia, or me and you, or Louie and I, or whatever, and then it gets created or produced in a way. And like I'm going somewhere with this. Like this is like important. Because what that means is that like if you have a physical product to sell, and we say, okay, our entire business is going to be built around like selling this teacup. That's actually a lot easier to do than what we're doing now, because this teacup has like physical properties. You can extract from it features and benefits. You can decide on your brand like right away. Like we're kind of like a flowery, naturey type brand, right? And you just like you can create the whole company message around the product. Mm-hmm. But since we don't have a physical product of any like a flagship physical product, I'm not arguing for one, I'm just saying like this is the business model, we can't do that. So we have to create all these things separate from a physical product. So that's why it seems like in CLG, every single thing we do is like everybody's like thinking, is this on brand or off brand? Because there is no central flagship, right? And that's a hard fucking problem to solve. But we don't even want to try to solve that problem. Let's like put it over there, because this is the point of this is collaboration. The point of this is that for us, if we had the physical teacup, you'd have a very easy set of deliverables to get that to the consumer, right? You would need shipping. You would you know all that. What you do, like you need a marketing guy. All that stuff is really straightforward. But for a digital product, you absolutely have to have team collaboration to decide how that is executed and how that is finalized. The steps in the execution that don't involve collaboration, you're skipping steps with people, right? You go from A to L to like M-O-Z, right? And people see A and they respect it, but they don't see the next stuff, and then they're like, this blindsided me. Leadership at the end of the day is going to involve like a lot of wrangling, which is like very step by step. I think like you start by being overly communicative and overly collaborative. Like you risk yourself on the other end of it. Like I'm annoying these people because I'm around all the time, like asking them to get buy-in, right? Then if they don't want to work with you and they don't choose to collaborate, and as long as that collaboration actually isn't like you assign them stuff, right? It's actually what's the next step of this process? Let's move it forward together. Then you might design a system if that is the outcome. And Julia says, I need weekly reminders. Okay, I'll get that for you in like 4 days. Is that cool? And yeah, cool. And then show me. Okay. Hey, this is the weekly reminder system. Are you cool with this? I want to change X, Y, Z. Cool, I'll change it. All right. But that's right, back and forth, right? Yeah. Not system, oh shit, do it. Right? Like that's not, and this is going to take time. Like I'm excited about this because I actually feel like this is a growth opportunity. You know, I'm big on this. So I just finished meeting with John, Director of Business Development. That was really positive, really good. The whole theme of today is like leadership and collaboration and how we work together to move esports forward as a whole and CLG as a company. This is how it is. This is every day. It's a lot of one-on-ones. It's a lot of collab. It's a lot of trying to find outcomes. So just finished the first meeting of the day. We're going back to back with 3 more. It's going to be between Julia from our social media department, Chris from our community department, and Matthew from esports. And I'm just going to go straight through that. And then I think we'll kind of like meet back at the end of that and see how it goes. But looking forward to those meetings. Looking forward to making some serious work, getting after it at CLG. I'm jazzed, man. That's awesome.
No, yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. That would take this.
Did you go with him to Sports Academy?
No.
That's back to my imposter syndrome problem. Yeah, I really should have taken him. Yeah, but I just built it up in my head. I was like, that would have been an episode in itself. I know. He's like, I see it in your eyes. He's like, fuck this guy. Yeah, he should be like that though too. You should be. I couldn't have done we couldn't have filmed any of the CQD stuff, but there was far more. Like, we could have gone on the court, did basketball stuff. I could have played in the sand. I mean, there's a million things we could have done. I could have done
the ice tank or whatever it is.
Yeah, like I could have done amazing things.
The cryo.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
I know. Yeah, I know where I'm at with this. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, I'm honored that you want to do something with it, though. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, it's just really cool. Yeah.
I think so too. That's why we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to advocate true collaboration with groups within CLG.
Yeah.
So there's some people who are collaborating, but not really getting anything done. Yeah, like they're all meeting together and they have these like long meetings, but they don't actually accomplish anything, right? So that's a problem. There's also a problem with some people who want to get stuff done, but they may not be presenting it to another person in the right way, so that person doesn't necessarily want to work with them in that way, or they don't feel like they're together, right? But in terms of the theme of leadership that I'm trying to advocate to everybody right now, and this is like the ongoing kind of theme for today, because like in my KPI meetings, I've had these like themes I try to direct everybody towards. It's this idea that as a company, how we move forward is effective collaboration. And what effective collaboration is it means that everybody in their respective departments takes ownership of that department and then brings the problems to the table with an outcome. And I think that what CLG is really missing right now is the outcome. I think what we're doing right is we're spending a lot of time talking about problems like our brand and like our how our content should look and things like that, right? And that's good. But what we're missing is sort of a centralized voice to be able to direct that forward, where one person kind of comes in and says, look, this is what we think the direction. Like someone just like wrangles everybody together and starts collaborating, and they say, okay, what do you think? Our outcome is to get to this point. This is the timeline that we want to do it. And like you tried to do that with the staff meeting where we came up with the mission or vision, but it didn't exactly have a clear outcome as to what we were going to do with that information, right? So we need to do something with it, and it has to actually change something. We have to have an outcome where So we need to be more outcome based as a company, and we need to have more people everyone actually needs to be able to take responsibility for getting people together and putting them in a system where they can collaborate together and work together. Just so you know, just like where I think the company is going, I don't think you have an issue with it. You don't have an issue with it, but it's leadership and outcomes. Trying to get people within all the departments to think more about getting groups of people together, collaborating on those projects, actually collaborating together and getting things done. Good example, coaching meeting, right? Like something that you initiated, but you got the buy-in of a lot of people that then became a great benefit to everything. right? Because everybody like came in and collaborated together. So there are weaknesses in collaboration, like small chasms across the whole organization, and at a staff level, I was trying to figure out, like at a staff level, what was kind of going on for a while. Yeah, and it's this collaboration issue, and so bringing people together in that way and having and encouraging people to work together is sort of the theme of this week. It's like what we're actually going to be doing.
Yeah. That's funny because in the coaches meeting this morning, I was talking about leadership, and I was like saying, guys, you are leaders. And trying to reframe the concept of a coach and like let him know like that you hold a position of power.
Yes.
And so I talked about that. We talked about like communication, talked about like the one up, one down type of relationship, like all this stuff. Because I wanted them to start to really take ownership of that. So it's really funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about with directors, because it's the same exact thing, right? It's like you're not just able to be reactive to things that happen in your department. Like you don't get to just be there and let things happen. You have to actually go out, grab people together for initiatives that will actually push the company forward, collaborate on them, and it's like the same thing at a team level. You have to actually get people together. You know, like a coach has to get a group of people together and be like, okay, this is going to be a thing that's going to push us forward to be X% better.
Yeah.
But this is what we have to do, and everybody has to collaborate to do it. And it has to be done in a way that isn't obtrusive or aggressive.
Right.
That's the challenge that a lot of the situation that's like happening within CLG is like, it's how you do it. It's like you have to have that 50% buy-in from the other person because you're actually working together to get something done. You don't go to them and say, here's the problem, do this. You go to them and say, we have this problem, how do we do this? Yeah. All right, so I'm coming back. It's now hovering around 7:30. I'm done with 3 back-to-back meetings and just thinking about reflecting on what that was about and what happened. Still going for it. We still got a couple other things to do tonight, but it's just going to be some dinner and just a little bit of work. So I'll probably do a little bit of that. And then right after that, probably close this day up. I want to talk about outcomes a little bit and being outcome driven. That's something that's been a theme in today, is this idea of knowing the outcome of what you want to accomplish. A lot of people are kind of wandering around aimlessly and like you're not sure where you want to go or what you want to do. And part of the theme of today is that happens in companies. Like companies are just groups of people trying to accomplish something. And a lot of times the company may not know its direction. So a lot of the meetings that I had today were about defining what outcomes are for each person individually, as well as what the outcomes are for the company to move them forward. And you might be able to ask yourself, when you're seeing like these meetings go back and forth, like what are the outcomes that I'm trying to accomplish? What do I want to do and how do I define that as my success? It's just something to think about. But I'm going to get back into it, do a little bit more work on the computer, and finish up some emails and finish up some final thoughts for the day, and then close it out. See you then.
Sacrifice your life to a higher force. Learn about life, making my way to the deep sea below, through the natural high. Sacrifice your life to a higher force. Learn about life, making my way to the deep sea below, through the natural high.
So just got back from dinner. Today was a long day. Monday, Tuesdays are typically pretty long days. The KPI meetings, key performance indicators. So I'm meeting with each of our staff and collaborating based on what the current themes are to move the company forward. And today's theme was leadership and taking responsibility and ownership for departments or who you are or what you're doing in the company. And that was like the concurrent theme. I think that's what showed up a lot, was like how to be a leader. And everyone is actually a leader. You may not realize it, like maybe you don't have people that you lead in a company or something, but you're still a leader because you're a leader of yourself. And when you're a leader of yourself, you have to take on ownership and accountability of the things that you are important to you and that are going to move your life forward. And you can't let someone else do that. Just like as a leader in a company, you can't let someone else dictate what is going to happen. You have to get your project done that you know is important. And you have to lead a team to be able to do that in a collaborative way. You have to get their buy-in. You have to work together. Leaders don't tell people what to do. Nobody does that. And you can't tell yourself what to do really either. You have to kind of collaborate with that greater discipline that you have and build the reasons. Like, how do you lead people? you build reasons for them to buy into the message that you have. Here's why this matters. Here's why this is important to you. Here's why this is important for us to get done together. What do you think about it? And how do we move forward? In the same way, when you think about being a leader for yourself, you have to get the reasons behind why you're trying to do something. It's not just going to be enough to tell yourself what to do. I should get up early in the morning. Well, how many times have you said that and then it doesn't actually happen? It doesn't happen because you have to set down the reasons, the emotional reasons why you want to become that person. And if you tell yourself something like, I'm going to lose weight, and you want to lose weight, but you just tell yourself you're going to do that, you're going to change your diet, you'll never actually get there. Because what'll happen is you'll realize that I can tell myself what to do and then I just don't do it over and over again. But if I actually set the reasons, like who am I going to be in 10 years when I look like this because I didn't make those decisions about my diet? Or who am I going to be in 10 years and I look like this because I did make those decisions and I feel incredible and I look incredible and I made those tiny decisions that led me up to that point because I took ownership of myself. That is real leadership. Real leaders, they own up to themselves first and then they can lead other people. But leading is not about telling yourself what to do. Leading is not about telling other people what to do. It's a collaborative effort to build reasons to make the world better. And when both of you, whether you're leading yourself or you're leading someone else, one other person, and both of you decide on it, or there's a whole team of people, or you're running a whole company of people, when you get the collaboration together, you get the message together where everybody is moving towards a goal. Like that's what CLG is doing. We're moving towards a goal of trying to become the best esports team on earth. And I'm trying to move everyone towards that goal too and do my part in it. When you get to that point, that's when people buy into that message, when you yourself buy into that message and you understand the emotional reasons why you're doing it, and everyone else understands those emotional reasons too and they agree with it, that's when you can really shake the world. And that's what being a true leader is really about. So that's episode 3 of Impact. I'll catch you guys again next time. I'm off to Lake Tahoe tomorrow. We'll do some stuff from there, and see you again next time.